Hi my loves, welcome to your cosmic weather report for the week ahead. It's another one from Bali. I'm doing this one really early in the morning to beat the heat, but there's all kinds going on here this morning. So again, bear with me, soak in the energy, soak in the vibes, soak in the sounds, and let's get into this week. First of all, if you're watching this on Sunday, we are doing a workshop tonight for the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. So many of you asked for this. And I do really feel it's needed. This is going to be probably the biggest astro news of this year. And this conjunction is really opening up a whole new creation and manifestation cycle in your life. So join us tonight. It's going to be 7 p.m. UK time. We are going to expand into your soul self. We're going to activate and awaken new manifestation and abundance codes. And I'm going to tell you everything that you need to know about this transit and how to work with it. If you're watching this after it's happened, do not worry, you can still get the replay. They are still in an active conjunction until June, so you've got loads of time to work with this energy, so you're not going to miss it if you're not there with us live. It's obviously always, for me, way better to be there live together, but you can still get the replay. But it really is so important to work with these energies because, as I mentioned in last week's report, they're a big continuation of the eclipse portal and everything that we're now moving into this week. So we've only got two really big kind of astro happenings this week, and they're both super powerful. We first of all on Wednesday get the Scorpio full moon. Now the Scorpio full moon is a continuation of the Aries new moon total solar eclipse, because the Aries new moon opens that lunar cycle, and here we're at the peak of that lunar cycle with the Scorpio full moon. Now the Scorpio full moon is going to continue the work of everything that's been happening by illuminating the way forwards. So one of the first things that this moon is going to do is to show you the truth about your life. You cannot avoid or hide from or deny anything under a Scorpio moon. It's going to most of all show you where you really want change. So where in everything that's been happening so far this year, you're like, I really need to change. I really want change. I want things to change. But where you are afraid of change. And so because of that fear, you stay stuck in your comfort zone. You stay stuck repeating old patterns. You stay stuck where you are. And there's that saying, isn't there, that it's only when the discomfort of being where you are outweighs the fear of the change that we actually start to make the change. And so this moon could make you very uncomfortable, especially in those life areas where you've been saying, I want this to change, I want this to change, and then nothing ever seems to happen. It's also, on that same note, going to really show you where you're afraid to trust yourself. So under a Scorpio full moon, our intuition, our inner knowing is always really strong and really on point as we're taken beneath the surface to really see the truth of what's going on in here, to really face our fears, face our doubts, and to be able to really tap beneath that into what we're being shown. Our emotions are always trying to show us something. They're always messengers. Our inner knowing, our intuition is always trying to tell us something. It's always trying to nudge us in the direction of our soul path, especially after those big eclipses that want to put us back into alignment with our soul journey. So we're always getting these little kind of whispers from our soul, whispers from the universe. And under this full moon, we're going to be able to really feel those, but with that is also going to come the realization of where you're afraid to trust your intuition. So where we immediately jump to the logic in our mind or other people's opinions or what other people think we should do. And we're going to be asked then to really face why we're so afraid to trust ourselves and begin to find that real trust in what we know within here, rather than what up here tells us. Because very often our mind, trying to protect us, tells us the same things over and over again to keep us safe. Whereas if we can drop out of that and come into that deep wisdom. So this full moon is going to show you your fears, where you are afraid of the change that you say you want, where you're afraid to listen to and follow the little niggle of intuition that's trying to guide you towards that change and towards where you need to go. And by facing that, it's going to help you to alchemize it. Scorpio is the alchemist, the shaman, the magician of the zodiac that helps us to alchemize these things into an ability to be able to do things differently. This moon's going to be a big choice point to do things differently. And then the next day, you'll be very happy to know Mercury stations direct. And this is again so symbolic of the week that this full moon is going to start to illuminate a way forwards to choose differently. As Mercury stations direct, there's more of a movement forwards. Now do bear in mind that Mercury is going to be in what's called a shadow period for 2 weeks before Mercury kind of gains speed again. And so while Mercury's in that 2-week shadow period, what we do here is we reflect on the lessons of the retrograde. We reflect on what we've been shown. We then begin to put the changes, here we go again, this word change, we begin to put the changes into motion that we know that we need to make. And so just be mindful that Mercury retrogrades can often be felt the most at the very beginning and at the very end. So especially around that Scorpio full moon, Mercury stationing direct energy that's coming right off the back of that big Jupiter-Uranus conjunction that really, it wants to shake things up and liberate and free you. It's going to bring in a lot of very, very quick, sudden changes that are going to push you, blast you right out of your comfort zone. And then the Scorpio full moon is going to come and be like, this is what you're afraid of. This is why you're afraid to come out of your comfort zone. And rather than run back in, we need to face this so that we don't keep hiding in this comfort zone, we don't keep repeating things, we don't keep ourselves small. And then Mercury is going to come along and say, here are the lessons of the retrograde, here's what you've been shown, and here's again how we can now take this information and use it to move forwards differently. So this week is going to be a very big week of making conscious choices, of actually doing things differently, of moving in a new direction, of trying something new, of nudging you out of your comfort zone. And when you get scared, not running back in, facing those fears and finding that deep trust and belief in yourself to be able to move forward in the way that you want to. So it's a very powerful week that's just continuing this story that we're in. And just remember that with everything to do with astrology, nothing ever really is just a standalone thing where if I don't do this right now I'm going to miss this. It's all part of a big ongoing life story that's guiding you towards more of your full potential, more of who you came here to be. I had this discussion with someone a couple of days ago actually about astrology and is it real and this and that, and I was explaining then that your birth chart, your soul chooses the exact moment to come to earth based upon your birth chart, because your birth chart contains all of your big life lessons and the totality of who you can be, the fullest potential of who you can be. And as we work through the energies in our chart, it really helps us to achieve that. There are so many clues and messages in your birth chart. And so as we work with these bigger energies in this ongoing story and we see how it unfolds, and remember each transit will work with people in a slightly different way to try to really get us back onto our pathway. This is where life then becomes this beautiful kind of dance and a weave between ourselves, our soul, the universe, the goddess, and this is where things get really, really magical. And so this week is another layer, another ongoing step along that journey. So yeah, another exciting week. As I mentioned, there is the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction workshop where we are going to activate your soul's abundance to help you then to be able to move into new beginnings. And as always, if you want to work with lunar energies, especially this Scorpio moon, with it being the continuation moment of the eclipse energies, the Lunar Living Sisterhood is always there, where we get together twice a month. And I share with you everything you need to know about the moon's energies, how to work with her. You get soul inquiry journal prompts and a meditation and information on what house that this moon is touching on in your own birth chart, so you can begin to see how to work with it yourself a bit more deeply. You get affirmations, you get so much in there, and you get a private moon circle with me every new and full moon where we kind of we speak like this, and I will tell you everything that's coming through that you need to know. So that's always there for you. But otherwise, my loves, have a good week. Be mindful this Scorpio moon might bring stuff up. A Scorpio moon is one of the most emotional signs, so just be prepared for that, but also be prepared that these emotions are there for you to alchemize them into action, and that's what we need to be doing. Let's continue along this journey together. I'm sending you so much love, and I will be back with you really soon.